What's up, y'all? It's day number 4 of the Proverbs 31 Educator Experience. If you are joining me for the very first time, first let me say, hey girl, hey, welcome to this live experience. It's been going down all week long, and I'm excited that we are on day number 4. I'm gonna be like completely honest with you. Today might just be my, how do I say this, favorite day. Today's topic is my absolute favorite. We're talking about vision today, and yeah, let's dive into it. Like let's not waste any time. So this week has been a experience for me personally, but I hope that you have also felt the experience this week. So let's do a quick recap. Let's run it back one time real quick in my rewind. I don't know if that's how rewind goes, but that's what it's gonna be for this here. So let's run it back. On day 1, we talked all about knowing your worth. Honey, you add so much value to the world. There is an issue when you cannot see that. However, on day 1, we talked all about it. We broke it down. Day number 2, we talked about trusting the process because listen, in all honesty, it can be real difficult when you're in a waiting season and you are trying to hold on to the promises that God has presented you with, yet you're not seeing the fruits of your labor because you are working and working and working, but nothing seems to be happening. It can be pretty frustrating, right? On day number 3, yesterday, we talked about how we can serve with excellence. And excellence does not equate to burning yourself out. How excellence does not mean trying to do all the things to be all the things for everybody. And here we are today, day number 4. Again, we're talking all about vision. We're talking all about vision and victory. So let me tell you that today is your permission. I am giving you permission right now, to stop shrinking, okay? And to start seeing, believing, and doing, okay? Can you do that for me? Stop shrinking, start seeing, start believing, and start doing. So let's talk about our Proverbs 31 educator. The Proverbs 31 educator is intentional about the future and where she is going. This is our core idea for the day. It is time for us to be intentional about where we are going in the future. But here's the thing, you've got to see it before you can see it. And that is the big thing about vision. Let's talk about our objectives for the day. In true teacher fashion, we got to have some learning targets. We got to. So by the end of tonight's session, day 4, we are going to clarify your God-given vision by identifying what success looks like for you. For you. Then we're going to work on developing a victory mindset. And then we're going to take action. So we're gonna clarify the vision, make it plain, okay? There go them Apple things again. We're gonna clarify your vision, develop a victory mindset, and take bold actions. Y'all see my computer is like, yes. Give them a thumbs up, cause that's what we're gonna do today. So let's dive all the way in. If you are ready, even if you are watching the replay, just give me a ready in the chat because I need to see who is ready. All right, let's say goodbye to the slide deck for just a minute, or just for a little bit. All right, so for today's session, we are going to dive all the way in to Proverbs 31, 16 through 18. We are Proverbs 31, 16 through 18. That is where we are today. If you don't have your Bible, go ahead and get her out. Again, this is mine. I read the Everyday Life Bible by Joyce Myers. It is the Amplified version, and then it also has a few of like her own thoughts throughout that are like very encouraging. She thick, but but I encourage you to check it out. All right, verse 16 through 18. I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna read it twice because I got to. I'm a boy mom, and them boys, they just need you to say things like 8 times. I'm only gonna say it to you twice. So let's get it. Verse 16 says, she considers a field before she buys or accepts it, expanding her business prudently. With her profits, she plants fruitful vines in her vineyard. She equips herself with strength, spiritual, mental, and physical fitness for her God-given task. She sees that her gain is good. Her lamp does not go out. She's lit. Oh, wait a minute. That didn't say that. Her lamp does not go out, but it burns continually through the night. She is prepared for whatever lies ahead. So that was Proverbs 31, 16 through 18 as our anchor scripture for today. Let's take a minute to unpack this scripture. We got to break it down. So I want to start with the first part of verse 16, where it says she considers a field before she buys it or accepts it. Listen, this woman, she's not out here just moving to move. She's not out here just moving and shaking to move and shake. Do you see the part in 16 where it says she considers a field before she buys it? Our girl is intentional. She is intentional, and she slows down just long enough so that she can move without haste, but also that she can make the right investments. Okay, she's weighing her options. She's in prayer, talking to God about what it is that she should be doing. She considers it. She sees it before she sees it. Okay, let's keep going. With her profits, she plants fruitful vines in her vineyard. Now, she's taken time to slow down. She's taken time to consider this vineyard before she bought it. And now she's ready to invest. Okay. And as she invests, she's not hustling because she's investing in something that's going to multiply. She also has patience with it as she's investing in it. Okay. She's growing grapes in a vineyard Do you know how long it takes to grow some grapes? It don't happen overnight. She's got to have patience as she watches it grow. The next part of that, she equips herself with strength and makes her arms strong. Our girl is working. She is not just sitting around. She is not just sitting around. She is working. And even though she's in a waiting season, waiting for her vineyard to produce some fruit, she's not being lazy. She's getting up and doing what she has to do. And I also want to add this part about her arms being strength. Her arms are strong. She is preparing herself not just with physical strength, but she's preparing herself for what God has for her with, she's preparing herself for what God has for her, and she's working while she's doing it. She's not just gaining physical strength, she's gaining mental clarity, she's gaining emotional strength, and she's building her internal muscles and her heart posture at the same time. Our girl is not just sitting, living her best life while she's in her waiting season. She's moving and she's shaking, okay? Waiting for things to happen after she took some time to see it, to really see it, to consider it, and to ask God, is this what you want me to do? Let's dive a little bit further in. Then it tells us that she keeps some good data. It says that she sees that her gain is good. That's verse 18. Our girl is looking for feedback. She's looking for feedback and she's collecting her data. Just like you collect data in your classroom, she sees that her gain is good. So now, while she's working, she's seeing things happen. She's taking down her data as it's happening. She's collecting feedback from the things that she is doing, and she sees that it is good. She's tracking her results. She sees the impact that she's having on the lives of others, not just going through the motions. She's evaluating the fruit that she is producing in her lives and in the lives of other people. And let me tell you, now that she is purposeful and walking in purpose, as she is taking action, she is spiritually, emotionally, and maybe even financially profiting from the work that she is doing. So I got to shout out to our girl here because she is doing it. And the last thing that I wanted to point out, again in verse 18, it says her lamp does not go out, but it burns continually through the night. Our girl is burning her lamp, her light. She is shining through the night, and she's doing it without burning herself out. The lamp is staying lit. She is staying lit because she's not burning herself out, because she's fueled by her purpose. And when you find that thing that keeps you lit from the inside, for some of us, that's in the classroom. For some of us, that's outside the classroom. And yesterday, I gave you my formula for purpose. I'm going to give it to you again. It was the 3 P's: your past, your pain, and your passions. When you are operating from a place of purpose, then your light is not going to go out, nor are you going to burn out because you're trying to do all the things without winning. When you're operating from a place of purpose, when you turn that internal light on, it won't go out and you won't burn out. Ooh, I'm thirsty. So, objective number one this evening was that we are going to clarify your vision. I want you to get crystal clear on what it is that you want for your life, not just tomorrow, not just next week, not just a month from now, not just 2025. This is what I see with a lot of educators. And this is one of the reasons why we burn ourselves out in our work is that we just doing to do. We're just doing to do. And what do you mean by that, Carmen? Because that sounds crazy. I know. I know. Um, we are just going through the motions. We haven't identified exactly what it is that we want out of life. And because we haven't decided exactly what we want out of life, because we haven't considered what we want out of life, just like our Proverbs 31 woman, she considered that vineyard before she took action on it. We've got to consider what it is that we want for the next 1 year. We've got to consider what we want over the next 3 years, over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years, over the next 20 years. You can't just have your short-term vision. I need you to think long-term about all the things that you want to do and all the things that you're going to do in your life. So, how do we do that? Well, I can't tell you what your vision is. I'm going to be completely honest. I wish I could sit down with you right now and say, this is your vision. However, I can't do that because only person that can give you the vision that is for you is God. God is the only one that can say, this is where you are going. This is what I want you to do. So if you want to know what that vision is, I need you to sit down and I need you to ask God for what it is that you want to see. Spend some quiet time with him. Now, after you spend some quiet time, if you want to sit down together, we could most definitely talk about it. But you've got to get crystal clear on what it is that you want. So for me, I want one of the things that I really want is freedom. One of my values is freedom. And freedom comes in different forms. That's time freedom. That's financial freedom. That's clarity in my mind. Freedom from the mental fog. And so I know that if those are the things that I want, then I have got to figure out what things in my life need to be in place in order that I can have time freedom, so that I can have financial freedom, so that I can let go of the mental fog. Listen, coffee is my friend, and it sometimes clears that mental fog. Well, also, I know that teaching extended day is not something that brings me, it really doesn't even bring me financial freedom because they don't pay you that much to teach after school tutoring. But it also doesn't bring me time freedom because on days that I teach extended day, I get home later. It doesn't clear up the mental fog because sometimes I feel a little less insane, for lack of better terminology, after I've taught after school tutoring. So I know that is not for me. So you have to think about what it is that you want. There are 10 categories that I want you to look at for your vision. 10 categories. I'm going to give them all to you. The first one is health and fitness. Where do you want what do you want your health to look like? That could be your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, when it comes to fitness, do you have a fitness routine? Do you want to have a fitness routine? The second one is relationships. This is not just your relationship when we talk about romantic relationships. This is also your relationships with your colleagues, your relationships with yourself, relationships. The third one would be environment. I'm a math teacher and I cannot do happy fingers. Have mercy. The third one would be your environment. What is it that you want your environment to look like? Who do you need to surround yourself with? What do you need to surround yourself with? When was the last time you did some not mental decluttering, but physical decluttering? Because you got to declutter the physical space before you can declutter your mental space. The next one is family and friends. So I want you to think about your family and friends and what is your vision for that for your future. The next thing I want you to think about is recreation. What are the activities outside of work and outside of your hustle, if you have one, that you do for fun and enjoyment for yourself? And if you don't have any of those, I need you to think about what that looks like in the long term. I also want you to think about your spirituality and what that looks like. What does your relationship with God look like? Do you have community? Do you need to connect with like-minded individuals? I also want you to think about your creativity. We all need a creative outlet somewhere. So, what is that creative outlet for you? I want you to think about your finances. What do you want? What is your vision for your finances? What do you want your credit score to be? What do you want in your bank account? What do you want your savings to look like? Do you have a savings strategy in the future? And I want you to think about business and career. What, if you have a business, what does it look like? And if you don't have a business, but you're working in your job full time, what does that look like for you? You got to think about all these things and create a vision for yourself for each of these categories for the next year, for the next 3 years, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years. And get clear on what that looks like for you. Because when you get clear on what that looks like, then you start to make decisions that help you to walk to make those things happen. If it doesn't align with what you see in that vision for those things, then like let it go. That ain't important. You won't need that. I also want you to think about the impact that you desire to have on the world. I ask the question sometimes, what magic do you want to bring to the world? What is the impact that you desire to have? Who are the people that you desire to impact? What are the communities that you desire to serve? And then I want you to start to figure out what those things look like for you. I do have a guided visualization that will lead you through all of those things. If you would like it, you just have to let me know. Send me an email or drop it in the Facebook group. Hey, Carmen. Oh, I need that. Or comment on this video and say, hey, Carmen. Hey, girl, I need that. No, I'll drop it in the Facebook group or shoot you an email if you are interested in having that. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with chasing all the things. That's why it is important for you to have a clear vision on what it is that you want. And then you got to focus. So, like, I don't know about you, but this is me, right? I got shiny object syndrome. And so, like, especially when it comes to technology, y'all don't show me a new piece of technology because I'll be like, ooh, and I instantly got to look at it. And then I got to go check it out. And then I go down these rabbit holes. And then I've signed up for a free trial. And then 10 months later, I'm canceling. Like, shiny object syndrome. You've got to get crystal clear on what it is that you want and stop chasing all the things. And then you've got to focus. And if you're anything like me, focusing is not that easy. It's not that easy. So that is when you need the systems in place that are going to help you focus and keep the main thing. And just keep your eyes on that prize and moving toward the things that you desire to do. Now, let's talk about the vineyard. Let's talk about the vineyard. In Proverbs 31, our um, woman here, our example here, she considered this vineyard, but she didn't just consider it, she took action on it. God gave her the vision to plant the vineyard. And then she sat on it for a minute. She did sit on it for a minute, but it doesn't say that she sat on it um for 5 years. It doesn't say that she sat on it for I don't know how long, but she didn't sit on it for long. She took action. And so I want to know, what is your vineyard? What is your vineyard? What is that thing that you are considering that you need to take action on? Is it writing a book? Is it finally taking your coaching or consulting business seriously? Oh, there goes the Apple. My Apple devices just love to make fun things happen. So, what is your vineyard? What is the thing that you need to plant? Is it a book? Is it a vineyard? Is it your coaching program? Is it your consulting business? Are you desiring to start a mentoring business? Is it something that you want for your children? Is it a new home that you have been desiring to have? What is the thing that you need to plant? What is it? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. What is the thing that you are desiring for? All of us have a vineyard that we are considering, just like in verse 16. All of us have something that we desire. And if we weren't supposed to have it, God wouldn't have given us the desire to have it. So what's yours? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Where is God asking you to trust him with your vineyard? All right, so we've talked about clarifying your vision. So once you have your vision clear and you are ready to take off, let me tell you, that is when opposition hits. That is when the enemy gets big mad. He's like, nope. Oh, no, she didn't decide that she was going to just do this thing that she says scares her, and now she's doing it. So there will be opposition. But in order to combat that opposition, I need you to develop a victory mindset. You might not feel ready to write that book, but it's time to move in faith. You might not be ready to send out those emails, but it's time to move in faith. You might not be ready to go live on somebody's platform, but it's time to move in faith. You might not be ready to start that podcast, but girl, you got to get up. It's time to move in faith. The second thing that I want you to consider when it comes to your victory mindset is that I need you to bounce back. You have to be ready and prepared to fail fast. Fail fast. Failure is feedback. Look at it as feedback. It's data. You know those data meetings that you like to sit in? When you fail, that's just data. Again, I told y'all this the other day. I love data. I love me some data. I am a data. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a math coach and I just love numbers. But I love some data. And so what I want you to do is to use those delays, use that rejection, and use that confusion. Use it as data. That is feedback. And so once you look at what's happening in your life, in your business, in your mind, then you can take the appropriate strategies to adjust, just like you do with kids. All right, so we are knee deep in testing season, right? So, of course, I've told you all before, I work in the elementary school, right? Actually, I work in 2 elementary schools, and we are knee deep in testing season. As a matter of fact, spring break starts Monday. Hallelujah. However, we are trying to get mock testing done before spring break. I don't know if my district thinks that we're going to look at data over spring break, but the same data that is there during spring break will be there when I come back to school on the 7th, when I go back to school on the 7th. So looking at this data for during testing season, this mock data, there are so many. The platform we use gives us about 1,000 reports that we can look at. I don't need that many. I just need one, just to see which standards my students are not doing that well in, so that I can then go back and support my teachers so that they can turn their strategy around. The same thing happens with your life. When you see that something is not working, when you see that you're not getting the things that, when you see that you're not getting the things that you're working for, then that's when it's time to adjust your strategy. That's feedback. So now that you see, I've been doing this, it ain't working. What can I put in place now, God, that's going to help me to move forward? That's your victory mindset. We're not going to get stuck and sit there just because nothing's happening. Let's try something, experiment with it, see what happens, take action, and that action is going to either show you one or two things. Yes, girl, this is it, or no, sis, we got to try that. We got to try that again. We got to try it again. Let's do it again. And then the third part of identifying or developing your victory mindset is discipline. Going back to verse 16, first, our girl, she considered the field before she bought it. And then once she got started, she was in. And that is what we need. We have to decide that we are going to be disciplined in the pursuit of what it is we desire. We've got to be disciplined in the pursuit of what it is that we desire. If you say that you desire to write that book, then like, can I see some cover art? Is there a chapter written? And if there's not, then you're either missing the right systems, or you are missing the accountability that you need to be more disciplined. So again, we're developing that victory mindset. We are moving by faith. We're using failure as feedback, and we're going to be disciplined going in the direction of our destiny. So the last thing that I want to talk about tonight, we've talked about clarifying our vision. We've talked about developing a victory mindset. And the last thing, we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but is taking bold, intentional action. We can't just decide that we're going to do without it being intentional. Because then when nothing happens, because we weren't strategic, we weren't intentional, then we get frustrated. We're like, but I said I wanted to do this, and this is what I want, and I don't see it. Carmen, what's going on? So this is what I need you to do. I need you to take some action, but your action has to be intentional. Now, we talked about vision. All the things that you saw in your vision, your actions should move you towards your vision. Vision without action is just inspiration. So it's good to be inspired. It is so good to be inspired by other people and what you see around you and what you see inside. However, you're not going to get anywhere until you start taking that action. And when we think about the Proverbs 31 woman, she was intentional about where she put her money. She built up her strength intentionally. And then she took action. And she's just like we talked about feedback, she had her feedback going. She took some data, she took her notes so that she saw the strategic, intentional action that she was taking was good. I don't want you to be here to be inspired. Like I want to inspire you, but I also want to see you take action, because as women and as women of faith, we deserve everything that we desire. So I need to see you taking some action. So let's go back to verse 16. She bought the field. She didn't just pray over it. She didn't just write it about in her journal. She took action. So when it comes to your book, when it comes to your consulting business, when it comes to your coaching business, when it comes to your classroom, when it comes to your new house that you want to purchase, what is the action that you've been avoiding? What is the thing that you're like, nope, I ain't doing that. It scares me. I'm not doing it. I told you on Tuesday that your waiting season, the reason you feel stuck, the reason why you don't see things happening is because God is waiting. He's the one, your waiting season is God waiting on you to take the bold action. So what is the step that you are missing? What is the step that you are avoiding toward the book, toward the coaching program, toward the consulting contract? I want you to decide right now. Drop it in the chat if you need to. What is the action that you need to take your vision and make it a reality? Sounds like my children are trying to destroy things. That was their action. And my action after this call. Okay, so this is where I want you to think about your bold, intentional action. What is it you need to do? Do you need to send an email? Do you need to have a conversation with somebody? Do you need to start working on an application and applying for that job or that grant or that fellowship? Is there a program that you know you need to join? Do you need to ask somebody for help? Do you need to be intentional and strategic about your time so that you're not distracted by the things that are going on around you? I want to know, what is the bold action that you know without a shadow of a doubt you need to take? I'm sorry, y'all. I was thirsty today. I feel like maybe it's because I left my water on the counter this morning before I went, but I just had a meeting, so then I came right home. But all right, let's dive into our homework for this evening. Let's go back to the slide deck. Those were our objectives. We talked about taking bold, intentional action. We talked about some strategies for developing a victory mindset. And we talked about our vision and identifying what success looks like in those different areas. Now, I know this says day 3, but charge it to my head and not to my heart. This is your day 4 homework. So here's your homework. First thing I want you to do is to write the vision and make it plain. I want you to think about what the vision that God has placed on your heart over the next 1 to 3 years. And if you can go further than 1 to 3 years, I want you to go further than 1 to 3 years. I know for me, well, there are a lot of things coming up, and God has made it so good. And every time I think about it, my vision gets bigger, but I'll share it in the Facebook group. Then I want you to take one small action toward your vision. Think about what it is you want over the next 1 to 3 years, and then take one teeny. It ain't got to be a huge action. I'm not saying go out if your vision has you married that you go out and get it. Like we ain't got to do all that today, okay? But take one small action towards your vision. And then decide how you're going to celebrate yourself. Make sure you share it in the Facebook group so that we can, number one, celebrate you. But I want you to figure out how you're going to celebrate yourself. Because taking that one small step is going to be the catalyst for everything that you desire. All right, y'all. That is our day 3 homework. We'll be back tomorrow, day 5. And we are going to be talking all about being equipped and empowered to serve. Tomorrow, we're talking all about equipping ourselves and being empowered to serve. We talked about serving with excellence yesterday. So we're going to be equipped and empowered to serve. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.